It's time for another game with the marvelous top lane Garen. Yes, I was forced to be top lane yet again. Which one? Because I tend to be last pick for some reason on this account very frequently. So, either way. And I know some of you may be, why are you still only playing on this account, the Maricone account? It's because they're the only replays that work. Believe it or not, the only replay system that seems to work is some really, like, I think shady Chinese one that seems to not take the replays of any other account but this one. So it's kind of why I'm still on this account. The Stonewall account sometimes gets its replay saved, which kind of makes me worrisome. The other way, the only other way I can get other replays is through using Twitch, but of course those are just straight out stream cuts, and they're not the most choicey ones or the most popular ones. Either way, you saw I got the first blood, so I went back and bought a longsword. 21-9, 0 masteries. Taking pure AD on my runes. Of course, Army Yellow too. I would want to say that Garen counters Riven, but in this case, I have a whole item against her, so it's kind of like I can't really even like try to justify it with this one. My Q is doing so much damage now just because of that one item advantage, and I could probably kill her if she wasn't pushed to her tower. I couldn't really show much more lane control because I kind of wanted to farm my brutalizer as quick as possible, get a level 6, and then pull off some shenanigans. Of course, watch what happens soon. Vi, I'm the best target for Vi, like straight out. So her coming top was smart. Her making her escape obvious, or this part right here is just in general stupid. I ward over her, and she should have noticed. It's probably a terrible idea to keep walking that direction. So I get on her and ignite and slash her, and boom, dead. Hooray! Blood for Garen. So, anyways, there was actually a huge argument in the last video I made when I said that Garen counters Riven. People were saying, "Oh, a good Riven will jump around and do all these crazy shit against you." And honestly, this Riven does do that. She avoids me and whatever, but she can't get close. I know, like I said, I do have an item over her, but she still can't get close. When I have my ultimate, I could 100% her. It's a sort of cat and mouse game in all reality. Yeah, she can do things to sort of outplay me or juke me and like force me to take minion damage like I did there. But in the end, the amount of effort she has to exert to even stand on equal footing to Garen is tremendous. So it's sort of like it's sort of like playing basketball versus a 7'8" basketball player, and like you could be skilled, you could be probably more skilled, but all he has to do is probably like when you do a trick plays, probably reach up and just knock it down and tell you not in his house. So it's sort of like that. Garen is not that complex when it comes to using him, and this Riven, for all intents and purposes, is probably better than me in top lane. But I think the matchup prevented the Riven from snowballing as much as she would have wanted to. And also the first blood really helped me. So it comes into play this. If you know the matchup and you know the champion you're using, it really does help. Which is why I advocate for learning, matchups and taking advantage of them and that kind of shenanigans. And I also advocate not fucking up flashes as bad as I fuck up this flash here. It's like, god damn, that's such a terrible flash. If I did it, I probably would have killed this Riven really quickly. By the way, I've been an advocate of counter picking, but I've also been really vocal against stuff like, let's say Darius counters Rengar. We know that, but if you don't know how to play Darius, you're just gonna get steamrolled by the Rengar, and then you're gonna become useless the whole fight. And even if Darius counters Rengar, it doesn't justify Darius as a pick versus as a pick you should make, because there might be other things in the fight in the game, such as other team members that Darius might not be able to do anything about. So in this case, though, Garen is the man. He is Spin Jesus, and you'll see it come into play. As somebody said in the stream chat quite eloquently, the biggest problem with Garen is that people become too afraid to fight you, so they run away. And honestly, kiting Garen or just running away from him really makes him hard for him to kill people. Though, if they make a foolish mistake and jump on top of you, you can kill them. And that's one of my favorite type of champions, the Punisher type of champions. Oh, you done fucked up now, and now you dead kind of thing. Like they make a misstep, boom, killed. They like try to go all in you, boom, killed. Stuff like that. I love it. It's like 50 Shades of Garen. It's all about that BDSM. By the way, I just got all chancy and I'm thinking like, did her blink go off first or did my silence go off first? But she get to blink anyways. Still though, go at them. I kind of get duped by LeBlanc's little shadowy thing, so I don't get to pick up the kill there. And then the rest of my team sort of, goes back and forth in the murder blood. And then LeBlanc gets gunned down by Garen. Pew, she's dead. So in this fight, I didn't really contribute too much. I did damage, but I didn't feel I made any swing. But, with Garen, good things come in the future. So, I'm farmed up. You can see I'm building Black Cleaver, and I have an Avarice Blade for the Ghost Blade. In fact, a 3 Brutalizer build is not actually a bad build for Garen. Though eventually, that's only if you're like ahead. If you're not, you might as well go a Last Whisper after your second Brutalizer, or you get your Black Cleaver or Ghost Blade, and then you build some defensive item, and then go Last Whisper. So... some people would advocate for Tank Garen, and while it can be useful and it can still deal some damage, I think Tank Garen offers very little utility outside of kill sniping. So I don't advocate for him too much, and I honestly think it's kind of a waste of his raw fuck you power. When I play Garen, I try to just shut down a lane, Like Riven, if I had picked, I don't know, Kennen or a weaker laner or someone I'm inexperienced with, I figure I would have been crushed, and Riven could have gotten crazy. At least as Garen. Actually, no, here, I love this part. I jump in, Thresh gets killed, I go in and absolutely obliterate the Riven, and then I just fucking destroy Corki, and then LeBlanc comes close, and she gets torn to pieces, and then Vi punches me for some reason, and she realizes that was a stupid mistake. And of course, they think I'm going to let them survive. They think they will make it out alive, but they forget that Garen knows no chill, and 4 people die to a sword. So anyways, I love me some Garen. Garen has the potential to at least go even against a lot of matchups. Mostly because he stalls it. He kind of prevents you from killing him. I mean, some matchups are like ingloriously against him. It's just really sad. But either way, at least the Riven didn't get snowballed, and I wouldn't have to worry about her or anything. So here, we lose one of our team members and we catch Thresh, but the enemy team is a little too afraid to get close to me, so they just kind of back off. I go straight after the Riven, and I just watch. I love this. How much damage I do. The Riven dies before she gets to do anything, and the Vi is not strong enough to save her. And then I just chase the Vi. She tries her hardest to run away, but the more you run, the stiffer Garen's sword becomes. So Vi is dead. 2 people, just pretty much 2v1 right there at Garen. I love it. The amount of damage you can do as Garen while their silence is immense. So that's, he's sort of, again, another viewer put it hilariously. He is a bruiser built like a fighter, played like an assassin. You jump on someone and kill them while they're silenced, and then hopefully you don't die within that time span. It's amusing, and I actually liked how that was said. So... you can see, I will tear anyone who gets close. If the enemy team ignores me, they will all probably die. So, by the way, as far as a Tiamat Hydra go, you can use your Hydra and Tiamat while you spin. It's not exactly the greatest DPS boost, but I thought it would have been funny to make the viewers laugh. In all honesty, I probably should have gone with the Last Whisper, because the enemy team would have, if they were smart, started going way more armor just to deal with me. So fight happens. I sort of try to go back and forth. I'm trying to ward away from the CC and only re-engage when I see an opening to actually kill somebody. If I just went gung-ho and kept pushing forward, I'd be killed by the AoE and all that other shit. Instead, I get to survive only to die to the LeBlanc because of my hubris. So they're dead, Garen. So though, remember, Garen is one of my favorite top laners. I'm not the best top laner, especially when it comes to CSing, but I can manage with Garen and I can manage with a few others. and I can win games for my team just doing so. You guys have seen my Canon games. You guys have seen my Karma games. Those tends to be hilariously like brutal against the enemy. Uh, but still, like I play those odd champions and I still can win. I can still shirk out a win even in one of my lesser roles and with a weirder champion. The idea is it's better just to play champions you're comfortable with rather than forcing yourself to play whatever you figure your team demands of you. Like in not in this day, but the other day when I was streaming, my teammates actually raged because Rek'Sai was open and I refused to play Rek'Sai. Like, who cares? Would you rather have a person who doesn't know how to play Rek'Sai just suddenly pick her up and decide, it's time to play this giant worm? Yeah, I hate that kind of bullshit. I still remember back in like the earlier seasons, and it's season 1 and 2, when Alistair was such a big deal, especially in the jungle, and players would fight in chat about it. It'd be like, there was one guy who actually first picked Alistair, and he said, "Somebody trade me for Alistair." And goes, "Why? Wait, nobody wants to play Alistair. No, somebody has to. He's OP." And he demanded another person pick Alistair. He wanted trade him or trade him the champion he wanted, and he'd give them Alistair. It's like, what kind of bullshit is that? And this was before dodging penalties became more lenient. This is when it was really painful to dodge any game. So there were douche nozzles dicks like that, and my god, it's just, who cares? The game has evolved to the point where the overpowered champions aren't as like insanely overpowered, more versatile, and yeah, but they're not as one shot Alistair mode kind of thing. I mean, well, as he is kind of a dick, and he probably should be banned, or in most games, but still, point stands. Point stands that just pick what you like and play it. Either way, here, this is a proper bait. We used Graves as a bait, knowing he had his escapes and everything, and the enemy team just full on engaged on him, and we were able just to tear them to pieces. Vidi's here. My teammates tear the other ones apart. I flash on top of Corki and just cut them to pieces. Spin Jesus away. So, 4 kills for 1. We thought it was going to be, 5 kills for 1. We thought it was going to be the Graves to die. I mean, he'd deal damage and then die, but fortunately, he didn't. Katarina's the one who dropped. So that's good for us because Graves is far better at pushing towers than the Katarina. So we get 2 inhibitors and 2 towers. So lovely for us. And yeah, we also get a dragon. We get pretty much full-on control. I hope you see that I built Thornmail. Again, I sort of regret not just buying the Last Whisper earlier, but the Thornmail did help out. The enemy team was getting punished for stabbing me. No one stabs Garen except Garen when he spins. So, just remember, play whatever the hell you want. As long as you know the matchup and don't fuck around, you'll do fine. I mean, sometimes don't pick your favorite champion if you're fighting against a player knows their champion, and it's a terrible, terrible, terrible matchup for you. Like, I've seen players play Kennen against Nasus and, play passively. It's like, what are you trying to do? You're gonna let Nasus get crazy. Gotta try as much as possible to piss off the Nasus and kill him. Either way, here fight breaks out. I got weakened. I couldn't join the fight until later, and I sniped the Vi just as revenge for daring to look at me funny during the first gank. So with that, we pretty much secure victory for ourselves. It was such a delicious victory, and you got to see that Garen just tears people to pieces as long as you do properly and get our first blood early, and then kill a Vi who just kind of escaped improperly. So hooray for Garen, and sad that not a lot of other accounts get replay, so I gotta stick with Mary Cohen. Still though, hooray.